Hey, party people! It's Julia Winston. Happy New Year to those of you who I have not. It's still January, so I'm still saying Happy New Year. To those of you who I have not had the pleasure of wishing a Happy New Year, we in 2024, y'all. I'm so excited, and part of the reason why is excited is because of what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be focusing on, and the people and organizations that I'm going to be helping this year. Thinking about that gets me super excited. And so I wanted to come on and reintroduce myself. So for those of you who did not see my post in Facebook or LinkedIn, I wanted to kind of do a reintroduction because your girl's been, I'm not going to say MIA, but it's been a long time. And so I wanted to do a reintroduction because I know so many of you who do know me, who work with me in various capacities in the past. You know me from the capacity with which you worked with me, and that's fantastic. And every year, what I find myself doing is that I have a lot of entrepreneurial business friends, and so I need an update. And so I've been asking people since it's the new year. Hey, Dean, since it's the new year, hey, what are you doing? What are you not doing? What is it that you're focusing on this year? Maybe it's even if this quarter, even if it's not the whole year, like what are you focusing on? So I know how to refer, I know what to listen out for the people that I know. And so I said, you know what? I probably should do the same thing. So this is a reintroduction of me. You from a business side, right? So I did in November, I did a whole celebration, B23, a celebration of me, where I just celebrated myself because it was very important on the journey that I was on to do so, and I did that, and it was fabulous and it was awesome. But as I have moved from the personal side to the business side of things, I wanted to give people an update about what I'm doing. And so that's what I'm doing. And I wanted you to see my face while I did it. Hey, y'all. So for 2024, it's a new year. Everybody's talking about the prophetic words of open doors and all of that other stuff. And that's fantastic. And one of the things that I want you to be very crystal clear on that I'm going to be doing is so that you will know how to hire, collaborate, or refer me, right? Refer, because it's important. You know me. For those of you who do know me, right? You know me. For those of you who don't know me, I want to be able to um, get to know you, and you get to know me, so that you understand what it is that I do, what it is that I'm looking for, and what it is that you can expect. So, without further ado, this year, my message, my mandate is very simple, and it's I'm preparing the pioneers. So, when you think of Julia, think of pioneers. Think of pioneer development. And actually, it literally is a pioneer development. Now, it's different. Okay. The pioneer development that I'm talking about is not some corporate competencies that I put together to say, oh, this is what happens. Okay. Did I check the evidence based research? Absolutely. Did I check the popular research? Sure did. But this is coming from a place where it really was a revelation of God for the heart of for his kids. Okay. And there's so many of you pioneers out there, and you're going through your pioneer journey, not knowing that you're going through your pioneer journey. And it's frustrating. It's like being it's the same frustration that we all have when we have some symptoms and then they're not diagnosed, right? Even if we don't know what something is off, something is wrong, something is different, and we know that, but we don't have words for it. So if a woman went to the doctor, and I've said this before, right? If a woman went to the doctor complaining that, hey, in the last couple of months, my stomach has gotten really big, and it's not I've gained a whole bunch of weight all over. It's just like this stomach right in front of me is just getting bigger and bigger. Like there's a big beach ball in my stomach, and my boobs are swollen. And, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., I just can't keep anything down. And it feels like there's something moving around inside, right? Like all those symptoms out, taking separately. Uh, it's just, it will be very weird to know what is that? What is going on? But what diagnosing does is takes the most common symptoms, put them together, and say, this is what's going on with you. So, with those symptoms, that person, the doctor then would say, oh, it sounds like you're pregnant, right? Doctors say, well, you're presenting with blah, 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 blah. Based on what you're presenting with, they might not diagnose you with something, right? And then you can go, oh, it's not, no, it's not weird for this to be happening. There's a reason for it. Okay. I say that because there's so many of you pioneers right now who are experiencing the very symptoms of pioneer development that your God, your Father God who loves you, is putting you through. And I don't mean putting you through as a bad thing. It's just, this is what happens, right? So if you want to be a firefighter, well, there is training that you have to go through to become a firefighter. All right. But you just don't show up at a firehouse one day and go, oh, and then people just start putting stuff on you and telling you to take these tests and, do these things, and you don't know why you're training. No training happens that way. Everyone who goes into training, they know what they're going into training for, because when you know what you're training for, then you know how to train. Okay. So if you're training to put out fires, then, and rescue people, then it's not going to, it doesn't make any sense for you to, be a lifeguard. It don't make any sense. And you're trying to do beach work when it does not align with your training. And that's where a lot of pioneers are right now. They're at the place where they're experiencing symptoms. And everybody that they're going to are saying, oh, it could be this, it could be this, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And deep down inside, that's not it, right? You're coachable. And so you have spent way too much time. I mean, just if this is true, say yep in the comments, right? If you're watching this on the replay, hey replay. If you're watching this later, just say yep in the comments if you've experienced this, right? So you're feeling some distance, then you're going to the normal channels of the people in your life that you're like, hey, I'm feeling some dissonance. This is what's happening. And they're telling you to do something. And in other circumstances, you'd be like, you know what? You are absolutely right. That makes total sense. And then you go to do it, but you're like, I get it. I get why you say that, but that just doesn't resonate with me right now. Have you experienced that? Right? Or someone's giving you some fantastic sound advice, and Holy Spirit says, nope, don't do that. Well, why? It makes complete sense to do that. And he was like, nope, don't do that. I was like, okay, well then if I don't do that, then what am I supposed to do? And then there's like silence in heaven. Right? Have you experienced that? Okay. What's happening with you is you have entered into a different stage of pioneer development. So number one, you probably didn't know that God has a leadership development model for all of his children, every single one of us. But the pioneer development model that God has is unique. And I've observed so many people in various stages of pioneer development. And over this past year, I've just watched as people did things that was very indicative of that stage one. That's very indicative of what happens in stage three, but not knowing. And so they experience it, and then they start and stop and hesitate and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to, because you need to know it, because it's really basic, and it's very it's very basic, and it's textbook really. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing this year is I'm going to be explaining it to you, right? There are two things that I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to be doing things and these are my internal categories for what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be doing things that are awakening the pioneers, and I'm going to be doing things that are preparing the pioneers. And so the awakening of the pioneers, those are going to be, so it's going to be like, hey, this is where you are. The preparing of the pioneers, that's going to be more deeper work. And so that's what that's what's happening here. You are experiencing symptoms, and there is no umbrella on which to categorize it. And I'm going to be showing you, hey, it's because you're a pioneer. Okay. It's because you're a pioneer. And the fastest thing to do is just accept the fact that you're a pioneer. And I'm going to come on here later, a little bit later, and I'm just going to be talking about why it's hard to do that. So that's going to be the first thing. You're experiencing these symptoms, but you don't know the umbrella under which you're experiencing them. That's what's happening. And I'm going to tell you what happens under this umbrella. That's the first thing. Okay. The second thing that's happening with you is because the places that you have previously looked to get answers are not satisfying. It's very, very important for you to not get bitter, to not get prideful, to not get closed off. Because those voices, those places, those people, they served you, and they served you well at a season and a time in your life in which you were with them, you walked with them, maybe you learned from them, maybe you partnered with them. It served you for a very good time at that point. Could be some businesses or even some products that you have that served you for that point. But you're at a place now where that's no longer serving you. And there's a reason it doesn't serve you, because that's a part of the development stage, right? And so in that space, this is not the time to badmouth. This is not the time to blame other people, other places, other voices who don't get you. Because in that place right now this is where, I'll say it this way. You can't be a pioneer addicted to following. Did you hear what I say? You can't be a pioneer and be addicted to following. You can't be a pioneer and get your identity as being a student, a perpetual student, loving to learn all the time. I'm glad you love to learn. Fantastic. But you can't be a pioneer addicted to learning and never executing and never implementing and never staying with something long enough to move forward. Okay. So that's the truth of the matter. Now, it's very normal. And so there are just different things that pioneers have to focus on. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing this year. I am going to be awakening and I'm going to be preparing pioneers. And tomorrow, if not tonight, I might release it tonight. I can't, it just depends. But there's going to be a special opportunity, because I was asking God, like, how can I do this differently? And I need to have a conversation with some of you. I need to have a conversation with some of you, and I need to share with you the Pioneer Development Method, the model, the framework that's like, this is what you're going through. And I need you to understand if it makes sense. And so, but I'll be talking about that a little bit later, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to reintroduce myself. That's what's happening. That's what you need to know about what I'm looking for in 2024. So I'm going to be looking for places to speak about pioneer development models. I'm going to be looking for companies to partner with in developing the pioneers within your organizations. And I'm going to be looking for individuals who want that support from both a biblical, spiritual, and evidence-based platform, foundation, I should say, right? So the practicality and the spirituality is going to go hand in hand, and we're going to have a rocking good time. So sound good? So if that resonates with you and you want to know more, then leave a comment. Tell me what's exciting for you. And I will see you later. And I will see you later. Until next time. Bye, y'all.